I feel very much offended to hear this kind of understanding. That's really the reason I decided to publish this statement openly. And I just really like to say this one. This is 100% untranscribed and improvised situation. Nothing had been read from teleprompter. Because I've been actually overwhelmed with the feeling that I've been mistreated by those people who've been actually using their opportunities to dismantle my understanding. And I have no reason to actually accept this one. Under the proper protection coming from my husband, citing this, hideous grounds that had been already used by my relatives, I could now actually seek protection that could easily be provided by my husband. And that's one of the reasons I decided to actually obtain a German citizenship. That's one of the reasons, because in that way I can actually perpetuate this circumstances by staying a million miles away from my relatives who are nothing but arch enemies. Let me actually say this one. The very palpable reason why they decide to, cut me off from English books by rendering the contents of my books into nothing but a shed, they just really want me to be much familiar with the Korean text. Even in the wake of this type of miserable cultural rendition and deprivation, I still managed to keep this English culture thriving and flourishing, and I'm very proud of it. Needless to say, I have two different ammunition. Those are working really well and efficiently. I'm not lying. People who already actually argue that I would actually be surrounded by such a delusional illusion and this should be disenchanted or disillusioned. Now let me say you something. It's time for you to actually have a cold shower because I'm going to rain on your parade. If you ever actually think that so delusionally that I would actually, fall into the same trap ever again, the last time you see that I would be this much radicalized to, inculcate myself in a way that would be so extreme to be like American, then you actually expect to see the same thing, right? Is that what you're thinking about me? Then you'd better actually think better. Because you know what, it would be very helpful to teach you how to live life in a decent way. Because you're not actually dealing with the proper truth. Let me actually tell you the very brutal truth. I'm not interested in actually masturbating. I'm actually more than happy to operate a vlog, which you would actually record every onset of my movement inside the room, where I would be in Germany to actually, keep a tiny camera rolling 24/7, 7 days out of 7 days. To witness the very movement of mine to dispel and dismantle and dispel and disillusion those people clouded with illusion and chimera. And if you ever want me to actually challenge me in terms of spelling, then please send out a decent person who can conduct actual verification. I don't really need to actually be tested by any person who had a connection with those people who were tied up with my relatives or those people who never actually liked my understanding in English. Because it's really ridiculous. I'm actually really good with English spelling. And needless to say that I have other, languages spelling system installed in my brain. I'm not lying. And how would you actually make the distinction? But the thing is, I've already actually witnessed so many manipulative tactics introduced into my system. Because normally there is a certain type of blinking. I actually think that there has been an unusually long-lasting delay that would be introduced whenever I actually type something. Following from that incident, normally there are two different letters flipped. Or there had been additional letters introduced, like R. Additional R would be added against my will and volition and willpower. Then how would you actually come to terms with it? Then I finally realized that there could be something wrong with the system, and I tried it. But I actually remember that there has been a certain retarded reaction coming from computers or gadgets that I never have experienced before. Before this, intervention, I have never encountered any of a sluggish moment that would be like the one that I'm experiencing at this moment. And I come to think of it, those people who really like to, dump charges on me, they just had a certain group power to harass my credibility, saying that, oh, you had a credibility gap. For that reason, there was a greater safety in numbers, we're going to dismantle your records. But those people had such an heinous history to actually, shame me and bully me for not being good enough using their powers, even when I normally obtain a good, proper quality from any multiple choice test or any type of assignments that had been conducted throughout the school curriculum or semester, they had a certain chance to use their own very, ignorant knowledge to saying that, oh, they had a better understanding of the system, everything was already delivered once. No, in terms of, two-toed sloth, I've never even heard about there are distinctions between two-toed sloth or a three-toed sloth. But coming to contact with this material, I immediately said, oh, probably if I were American, I would actually probably say that two-toed sloth in this way. That's what I really said. I'm not lying. I don't really want to be an American. I don't really need to go to America because, my destination is Germany. I've never actually been bewildered or perplexed and nonplussed in terms of making up my mind. I have a solemn commitment to becoming a German, and I will do it. I have no shame in terms of pursuing this goal with a clear determination and a resolution, because I'm very much resolved to make this happen for the security and safety of my happiness with the Frederick Plykin, and I'm actually happy to accept this one. Who would not know how to actually spell ballet? It's really kind of ridiculous, because I'm actually, more than happy to be tested, but I will actually, orally state this spelling first to prevent any type of technological challenges that would be introduced pretending to be accidental, which were nothing but accidentally on purpose, deliberate efforts to challenge my progress, right? Why do I have to give a credit values to you? No, this is really ridiculous. I don't really understand that. Why do I have to actually give you credit values to you? I don't really speak faster than this in Korean. This has been a totally non-transcribed understanding. And I already actually conducted enormous investigation by myself, relying on no one but me to demonstrate the solemn presence of intervention and interference that I have been used to the degree of aggressivity, and I will never actually hesitate to prove the real existence and identity of those people who just really at all costs wanted to shame me for never being good enough in the realm of English. And this is really ridiculous.